Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. I'm going to try to keep this video short because I do have another video coming out later on today that is based on a whole bunch of emails that I received from those of you that watched yesterday's video. So stay tuned for that, because I'll tell you what, I got some very interesting intel from what I like to call the word on the street. But referring to this article here, the mother of all economic crisis will lead to social unrest and violence. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've often said that, now hear me out before you click off after I say this. Money is everything. Why is that? Because what does money represent to you? When you go to work and you give of your time, your labor, your skills, your knowledge, what are you doing? You're trading all of those things. You are trading your private property for that money. That's why money is everything. So when a government or governments across the world really have control over how much that money that you're earning is worth, they have control directly over your private property. And what happens when things go south, as they have been going for the last couple of years? People start to hurt. And the more that people hurt, the more that they get angry. And the angrier that they get, they do things that they normally would not have done under regular or normal circumstances. Staggering amounts of debt held by individuals, businesses, and the government will soon lead to the mother of all economic crises. And with economic crises always comes an elevation of violence and social unrest. It doesn't matter what country you're at. Just take a look around, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at how crime has been increasing over the last year or two compared to when people were able to afford food. Man, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler alert. Some people in Canada are actually moving to other places just because they can move there and afford the food there other than staying where they were before. It's a heck of a shame. Rubini properly blames the creation of a debt-based economy on the near or at near zero interest rate and quantitative easing policies pursued by the Federal Reserve and other central banks. Going back to what I was telling you about the government governing or saying what money is worth. When they say what money is worth by what interest rates or artificial interest rates they impose on that money, they're saying what your labor is worth. So here you have to work, right? You have to work X number of hours a week in order to get by. Why? Because you don't have no assets, because you're part of the middle class. You're living paycheck to paycheck, or maybe you're living a comfortable life where you have a nice little savings, nice little retirement. You have the white picket fence, 2 cars, 2 kids, etc. But the difference between the working man or working woman and the wealthy is that they own their wealth and assets. And as inflation goes up, meaning that the price of money goes down or the value of money goes down, their assets go up in value, where yours go down in value because your main asset as a middle class person or middle class family is your income, ladies and gentlemen, your labor. I hope that you understand that, because this is so important for us to know. Because when we do transfer over to this new system, whatever system it will be, the more people that know what real money is and what it represents, the better off that we will be, not only as a nation, but as a world. The inevitable result of the zero interest rate and quantitative easing policies is price inflation, wreaking havoc on the American people, and not just us. Is wreaking havoc around the world. The Fed has been trying to eliminate price inflation with a series of interest rate increases. In my opinion, there's nothing that they can do. Inflation will continue. It may slow down a little bit, but really, how is your standard of living doing compared to inflation? Is it getting better or worse? So far, these rate increases have not significantly reduced price inflation. This is because rates remain at historic lows. Yes, even now with the Fed fund rate, I believe it's at like 4%. Even that is a historic low. And look at what it's doing to the economy. Yet the rate increases have had negative economic effects, including a decline in the demand for new homes. And it's going to continue. Those people that have a house now and have not unloaded their homes, they're going to see the value, meaning what they are offered for their home or what their home can sell for, go down as interest rates go up. Increasing interest rates make it impossible for many middle and working class Americans. Remember, middle and working class Americans. Why? Because they hold their wealth in their labor. Because they don't have assets that are worth millions. They don't own the Mona Lisa or the Picasso. To afford a monthly mortgage payment for even a relatively inexpensive home. The main reason the Fed cannot raise rates to anywhere near what they would be in a free market is the effect it would have on the federal government's ability to manage its debt. And of course, if the federal government cannot borrow, then the federal government will pretty much shut down, which in my opinion would be a great thing. And listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. I've been talking about this for a while. Not extensively like I have about the CBDC, but I have talked about this. The federal government's fiscal picture is made worse by the fact that the Social Security Trust Fund will begin to run deficits by 2035, and that's really right around the corner, while the Medicare Trust Fund will run deficits by 2028. And here he says something that I do not agree with. The looming bankruptcy of the two major entitlement programs, which I do not agree with that, and I believe that that's not factual. Social Security and Medicare are two benefits, not entitlements. The difference between a benefit and an entitlement is a benefit is something that you paid into, whether you did it voluntarily or involuntarily. And as we all know, if you work, you are being charged a tax every payday for Social Security and for Medicare. So that is a benefit, not an entitlement. An entitlement is something that you get that you never put money into. Combined with the unwillingness of most in Congress to reduce either welfare or welfare spending. Now that's an entitlement, puts the Fed in a bind. If it raises rates to the levels needed to really combat inflation, the increase in interest payments will impose hardships on individuals and businesses. And they have no choice. They are stuck between a rock and a hard place. I've talked about this in the past. I've done a few videos on it saying that if the Federal Reserve were to raise interest rates to where they needed to raise it, because inflation is so high that it will completely destroy the economy, turning us into a Great Depression, a deflationary depression, which is where I believe we are going without them even raising interest rates that high, because you can see the effects that the interest rates that are now have had on the economy. Also, if the Fed continues to facilitate federal deficits by monetizing the debt, printing money out of thin air, the result will be an economic crisis caused by a collapse in the dollar's value and rejection of the dollar's world reserve status. That is where we're headed, ladies and gentlemen. We are either headed to a hyperinflationary scenario or a deflationary scenario like the Great Depression. I would say that a hyperinflationary scenario would be worse because it would completely devalue the dollar, which will take us out of the world reserve currency. And that is being worked on right now by other countries, many other countries, may I say, that the dollar's reserve currency status will be taken down, I believe, within the next several years. It's not a 1 year or 2 year thing, but the pain that it's going to take between now and then is going to continue to escalate. So prepare now that you can. So let's finish it off with this. The crisis will lead to social unrest and violence, as well as increased popularity of authoritarian movements on both the left and the right. What do governments do? When they can't control the people, they become more authoritarian. And that's just played out throughout history. This will lead to government's crackdowns on civil liberties and increased government control of our economy. Price controls anyone, nationalization anyone, those are all really bad things. Take a look at Cuba, take a look at Venezuela, take a look at Zimbabwe, and of course we can always go back to Germany during the Weimar Republic time frame and take a look at that as well. The only bright spot is this crisis will also fuel interest in the ideas of liberty and could even help bring about a return to limited constitutional government, free markets, individual liberty, and a foreign policy of peaceful trade with all. Like I've said, ladies and gentlemen, we have to suffer first before things get better. And that's exactly what he just said. Those of us who know the truth have two responsibilities. The first is to make the necessary plans to ensure that our families can survive the forthcoming turmoil. and it is coming. The second is to do all that we can to introduce as many people as possible to the ideas of liberty. I'm not sure how many people understand that liberty, that freedom, is the greatest driver to economic prosperity, to personal prosperity. It really is. If you take a look at countries where the government imposes its will upon the people and continues to do so in every way possible, there is no freedom. And you can see how their economies are doing. Take a look at our nation for the last 50 years. Take a look how we've gone on a downward trend. Why? Because our freedoms have been infringed on more and more and more as time has passed by in the last 5 decades or so. And the reason I picked the last 5 decades is because, of course, you all know, and in case for those of you that don't know, it is when Richard Nixon went ahead and handed over the money of the American people. I get emotional about this, actually. He handed over control of the money, of the American people's money, to the Federal Reserve. He took the gold backing off. You have to understand that when there is real money backing the dollar or any currency, it is we the people that have the power. When you take away real money from backing a currency, it is governments that have the power because they can print it at free will, i.e., taking away your personal property by inflating the money supply and making your labor worth less. That's why today you're paying a lot more for food and everything else than you were just a few years ago. And that is why today the price of regular everyday things are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times more than what they were 50 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just plain mathematics. But without liberty, we will have nothing. There's nothing without liberty. I hope you take that to heart, and I hope that you share this with someone that you love. And I hope that even if you don't share this, that you talk to someone you love about what's going to come, what's going to come forth in the next several years. Starting next year, ladies and gentlemen, I see some people starving. People are going to start to starve because all of these cycles that we've been talking about for the last couple of years, the last few years, they're all going to start culminating, in my opinion, between 2023 to 2025, 2027. So in the next 4 to 5 years, things are going to get very, very difficult. So I hope that you are preparing. We will talk to you later on today. God bless every one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that you all know that a way to make revenue on YouTube is by having affiliates. I wanted to talk to you really quick about my affiliates. If you look in the description of my videos, you'll see 6 or 7 affiliates I believe that I do have. But I want to tell you that I only affiliate with companies that I trust and that I think put out a good product that people should have to be prepared. One of those companies, of course, you know that I champion nutrient survival because they, in my opinion, make the most nutrient-dense food that tastes good that's in the market right now. OPS is one of those solar generators that I believe makes a great product at a good price and good quality. Contingency Medical, ladies and gentlemen, I champion Contingency Medical because I believe that everyone, not only preppers, not only if you're in the prepared realm of things, but everyone in the United States of America, every family should have some emergency antibiotics just in case it becomes unavailable. Now, going into the precious metals realm and preserving your excess wealth, which is what I like to call it, I do affiliate with 3 different companies. With SD Bullion, where you can go and purchase precious metals, either 1 ounce or 2 ounce or however many ounces you want. I also affiliate with Genesis Gold Group, who specializes in converting IRAs into what I like to call real money. And it is real money, gold and silver. I also affiliate with ITM Trading. They're in the same realm as Genesis Gold Group. They also convert IRAs, but they work mostly with like numismatic coins. Now, I understand that everyone is in a different place in life, and some people may need one of these things or others. But I bring these affiliates to you, not only to make money, but because I believe in them. I think the people that work there are good people and they provide a good product that is needed. Now, I just remembered my very last affiliate, which is a company that everyone loves to hate. However, for some people like us here in Alaska, it's a necessary evil because it's how I get most of the things up here that I need or feel that I need, and that's Amazon. So if you want to support the channel and you are in the market for any one of those things that I affiliate with, you can use my link and it will help to support me. It doesn't cost you a penny more to use any of my links, and I do not encourage you to use my links just to use them to support what I do. I encourage you to use them because I really believe in these companies.